Eric here with Team Eccentric, and I'm bringing you guys the first dual commentary video that we have done in a very long time. It is Connor with his LIGHTSWORNs on the left versus me with my MERMAIL Atlanteans on the right. So we will get this thing started and we roll, and Connor rolls higher, so he decides to go first. Both decks like to go first. My deck is better at going second though, so he attempts to Foolish turn 1 and it resolves. And he foolishes his Trick Clown, which gives takes away 1,000 points of damage to special summon it and make its stats 0. So he basically gets a free level 4, which is really good in LIGHTSWORNs, especially nowadays if you're playing the Minerva Turbo. He normal summons Raiden and uses effect to mill 2. Then he goes straight into the Minerva, and he detaches to mill 3, and he mills one of the LIGHTSWORNs and he draws a card. And as you can see, he also milled the Honest, not the best mill ever, but whatever. So then I start off with Diva, and then I go to Prince, and then he attempts to read Prince to see if it's on summon, but it is not. It is an ignition effect, so he banishes 7 to attempt to flip my Prince face down before I could resolve its effect, before I could even attempt to activate it. But I had the Chalice in hand, so I timed my Chalice properly, and I banished his Fairy Tale Snow, and I send Goons as cost off of Prince after continuing my plays at Heavy Infantry and Megalo. But that's why I play 3 Chalices, guys. It's because of reasons like Fairy Tale Snow and a turn 1 Dweller. If I can hard draw the Chalice, it's really good, honestly. I definitely recommend at least 2 Chalice. Now I'm attempting Megalo, discarding Marksman and Goons. And unfortunately, as Chain Links, my Megalo's effect was not live because the only target at this point in time in my deck that was available was in my hand. So I just let him confirm, and then after that I had the Moulin off of the Goons, and then after that I tribute the Prince to special back the Goons so that Megalo can attack twice, and then I consider the instant fusion, as you can see, to make a rank 4, and then I decide to play it. So I make the Rare Fish. Unfortunately we don't have Norden anymore. Norden would be amazing right now, but it is too busted, so I overlay into a rank 4 and I make the Dweller. And what's great about Dweller here is that all of his cards on his board right now kind of recur. So if I negate, or if I stop him from recurring, he kind of loses advantage, and the Goons gets a search. So I activate the Equip spell on Megalo, and then Dweller attacks over the Minerva for 200, and then Megalo for 37 over the Fairy Tale Snow, and then another 37 direct, and then I have 700 with the Diva. The Dweller giving all of my water monsters an extra 500 points, so Dweller being at 22, and then Diva 700, and so on and so forth. So now it's Connor's turn. Checking his graveyard, trying to figure out what he can do here. Basically, when I summoned the Dweller, I also just detached for the Dweller, basically shutting off his graveyard again. Normal summons Unizombie, discards his Mizuki. Pretty good, but at the same time, I Dwellered him, so he doesn't really get the chance to use his Mizukis until after this turn. And he targeted my Megalo to make it level 8, and he targeted his Mizuki to make it a level 4. But the fact that he was able to discard Mizuki and send Mizuki from the deck essentially sets him up for later turns and later combos and play strings. Pretty good. And then he swings over my Diva for 13. Well, he swings with a 13 over my Diva. So then it's my turn. I'm just considering what plays I can go down because Unizombie is a strong card and I do need to clear it off the board. And obviously I do have enough to clear it off the board, but I'm trying to consider what I can do to lock him out of the game. So I normal summon Pike, and I discard my Prince to add Gund, and then special summon the Goons off of Prince's effect, and use Megalo to tribute the Goons to add another Megalo. And then I link summon, and I discard Gund and Heavy Infantry. So Heavy Infantry destroys the Unizombie, and then I use the other Megalo to tribute the Pike, and then now both of my Megalos can attack twice, one with the Equip spell, both gaining another 500 also off of Mistar Boy, essentially killing him that turn. So that is game 1, guys. We're going into game 2. We decided to side. From now on, every match that we post will be sided matches, because it just makes it so that the game is a little more even, and it's not a blowout based on what deck you're playing, because somebody might be playing a deck that just loses out to the inherent mechanic of another deck. So in my opinion, it's actually a good idea to actually side in these matches, because then you can both figure out what what decks work with what and what sides work against what decks. So that we're trying to display that to you guys, as well as it makes the matches just that much more interesting. So it benefits in multiple ways by means of showing you guys what cards work against what decks. So like if you guys needed advice on what to side, these are good ways to go about looking. And also, like I said, it makes the games more fair and more interesting, so they're never a blowout. So game 1 went to me, and now we're going into game 2, and he's going to begin. Normal summons Predaplant, discards his Wolf, special summon his other Predaplant, which is a really good starting combo with his deck. All he needs is the Predaplant, and not to draw his target for Brilliant Fusion, and he can set up a Mrs. Radiant and go off with play strings that are really good. So he summons his Invoker after overlaying into the extra deck zone, and from that point he detaches. And when he detaches, he gets to special summon a level 4 Earth Warrior or Beast Warrior to his board and defense. So he summons his Heroic Challenger, which is really good, because this is how the combo works. So he then links into Mrs. Radiant and Brilliant Fusions. Discards or sends the Garnet and the Trick Clown, and then Trick Clown's effect basically does 1,000 damage to him, and when he does that damage, then he can chain his Heroic Challenger and special summon it. So it's a free rank 4 on top of setting up both a Seraph Knight and a Mrs. Radiant. Really good combo. Connor really does know how to play Lightsworn. It's a very good deck. He's very consistent with it. So he plays Charge, and he mills two of his cards, being an anti-spell fragrance and a Solitaire. Not very good. Mills there. But he adds a level 4 or lower Lightsworn, and in this scenario, he attempts to add Lumina. So Lumina is really good in Link format, or Link era rather, as well, because of the fact that it can just keep special summoning Lightsworns. So he uses an additional normal to summon Lumina, uses its effect to discard to special summon Wolf, and then he links again into Proxy Dragon. Now with Proxy Dragon, he has more extra deck zones on the board, so he overlays into another Minerva, and he detaches, and he mills 3, and he doesn't get any Lightsworn, so he doesn't get to draw any cards. Then he attempts to use Fairy Tale Snow. You can see he's setting up a very big board here. He's trying to establish as much advantage in card economy as he can, as well as establish lots of plays, and he goes into the Dweller turn 1, which is really problematic for Mermails, given I don't have a Chalice. But he, in my standby phase, detaches for the Dweller, which basically shuts down my entire hand. Plus, I didn't really draw the best hand to begin with, so I set a card, and I normal summon the Marksman. With that, I instant fusion, attempting to summon Theseus, because I figure at this point I can make an Omega and maybe make a 28 beater that likes to tag out and keep coming back. So, that's always a thing. So I synchro and make the Omega, like I said, and I attempt to attack over the Dweller to get rid of it, and he uses his Fairy Tale Snow by banishing 7, which basically Omega can't use its effect during the battle phase. It can only use it during main phases, so he just locked me down for that turn. And then he link summons into Decode Talker, going into his turn. And I saw him warning the Decode Talker, trying to at least stop him from summoning things. He mills 3 off of Minerva again, and then he gets the Trick Clown effect. And the Heroic Challenger makes another rank 4. Honestly, Connor's deck is very strong. He makes Tornado Dragon. You see that he's set up so much advantage that I just couldn't break out of it. Especially with Dweller still having material underneath it. There's just so much for me to get over, and not enough of the cards I need to see in order to do so. So I go into my draw phase, activate MERMAIL, try and shuffle back the Gund and the Megalo, hopefully drawing a Raigeki or some sort of remotely decent card, maybe even a Chalice or something here, to try and promote play strings on my side of the field, because I'm not really getting much, and then I don't really draw everything, so I just flip the Omega and try and attack. And he just does Fairy Tale Snow again. Honestly, Fairy Tale Snow is a very strong card, and it can really just disrupt all kinds of plays. So he flips my Omega face down again during the battle phase, which is really annoying, and then he solar recharges, discarding his Baby Minerva, and then Minerva's effect allows him to mill, which he, as you can see, mills a Mizuki, really strong. Basically, he's established advantage both in the graveyard and on the field, which in Lightsworns is as optimal as any deck can get. So he still has the extra deck zone, so he can summon more things, and he banishes his Mizuki rather, to special summon his Unizombie. Unizombie's effect discards another Fairy Tale Snow, make the Unizombie level 4, synchro into Omega. As you can see, his deck just is so consistent, even for a Lightsworn deck. So he beats over my Omega and then just kills me that turn. So that is game 2, guys. Game 2 goes to him, respectively. Very, very good plays Connor was making on this side of the field. I just was not seeing the cards I needed. But Connor definitely made some very strong plays. And as you can see, Connor plays Lightsworns like a champ. So we're going into game 3. And like I said, we sided. So I'm just, swapping cards out for this side deck, which would allow me to basically gain advantage going first. Because against Lightsworns, you really don't want to let them go first and establish their graveyarded or field advantage, because if they get that Fairy Tale Snow, you have to deal with that, and you have to try and bait it out, and sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do. So, especially being that it's a quick effect, and he can basically summon it whenever he wants to try and disrupt any of your plays. So it's better to try and go first against Lightsworns, unless you have some way to mitigate that issue. I'm still siding and Connor's shuffling up. I just want to note, guys, that like I said, the only reason why we decided to make these sided matches is because I feel like it makes the game both more fair and more interesting. It's more fair because then there are no blowouts just solely based on how much better one deck is than the other. There's sided games, and then it also makes it more interesting because you guys get to see just how good certain cards are against certain decks. So we're getting into it, and I went into my main phase 1 already, and I activated MERMAIL, shuffling back Osha and Megalo. Trying to get a good shuffle here. I don't want to draw the same cards. So I draw 3, and from that point on, I set 1, and I normal Prince. Always good to start off with Prince. I send Goons and Megalo. That's just the standard combo. Reveal the Megalo, discarding the Goons and the Gund. Gund at that point, it wasn't optimal, but it was a water to discard. And again, I try to add an Abyss Spout Trap. I forgot that it was in my hand again. I don't know why I do that, but he's just confirming again. And also he gets to see what I sided on him, which is kind of not optimal. But again, you forget things. We all make mistakes, guys. No one is perfect, especially not me. However, I try to be the best Mermail player I can. So off the Goons, I had the Diva. And from that point on, I just activate the Equip spell. And I pass to him. So he goes into his draw phase, and he looks at his hand, considers his options. And he normal summons the Fairy Tale Snow, attempting to flip my Megalo, but I think about it. He doesn't know what my face down card is, so I flip the Strike, and that just instantly stops that. And then he activates the charge to bait out my Equip spell, and then he Brilliant Fusions, sending Garnet and the Trick Clown to special summon the Seraph Knight, and then takes 1,000 for the Trick Clown, special summon that. And then he activates Solar Recharge, and he doesn't mill the best. And you can see his frustration there with the flick of his wrist. So he's just thinking about his options, and he normal summons with the addition of the Predaplant and links into the Decode Tucker. Now he didn't get to activate the Predaplant's effect, because I believe he drew the other Predaplant, which is not good. So then it goes into my turn. He swings over my Prince before the turn ends, and then I Regeki, and I go off. So I use the Diva, special summon the Prince. He somehow got rid of it. And then from that point on, he tries to banish for 7, special summon the Fairy Tale Snow to flip the Prince face down before I could get it. So at that point, I just attempt to attack his Fairy Tale Snow. I try and make it so that he doesn't have enough in his grave or in his hand in total to use it anymore. Normal summons the Unizombie. He attempts effect. Targets a Unizombie to make it a level 4. as you can see, sent the Mizuki again to establish more graveyard advantage, which Lightsworns are just make so optimal to send things to grave. So he attacks over my Prince with the Unizombie. And then from that point on, it looks like he has quite a bit of cards in his grave again to use the Fairy Tale Snow, so he's establishing a lot of advantage. All I have is the Megalo and a few cards in hand, but I normal summon the gun and I use it to effect the Tribute. And I attack over the Unizombie, and he vanishes 7 again, and I Chalice again, and I attack over his Unizombie, and then I attack over his Fairy Tale Snow, which honestly leaves him with almost no cards in his graveyard. He literally used everything he had for that last Fairy Tale Snow. So he draws a card, he sets it, now it's my turn, so I attack over it, and then he does the Gofu play, 2 tokens, and at this point he uses Decode Talker, so there's nothing he can really do there. He's just using the tokens to defend himself, which honestly isn't so bad anyway. Normal Marksman, I attack over all, basically his Gofu and one of the tokens. He draws, ends, and then it's my turn, and attack with the Megalo, and then the Marksman, and then I try and put some more damage on the board to attack with the Prince. And then I, at that point, consider like my options, because there's a lot of things I can do now that I have more monsters established. So I link summon into the Starboy just to either get an add back or give Megalo 500 extra attack points. I mean, I get both, but so he normal summons Mizuki and then attempts to crash it and banishes it to special summon the Unizombie. And then he uses Unizombie's effect. And from that point on, he just calls it game because there's not much else he can do. So I show him my sides. I side strikes, warning, and Imperial Order. So that was the game between Connor and I. It was his Lightsworn Zombies versus my Mermails. There are other games that he won. It's, you know, Connor's a very good player. As always, guys, really appreciate the views. Really appreciate you guys coming to watch us. Rate, comment, subscribe. As always, guys, we really want you guys to let us know in the comment section below what you guys want to see, whether you guys want to see more deck profiles, more duel videos, more discussion videos. You know, anything at all, just let us know, and if we are capable of doing so, we will do it. So Eric here with Team Eccentric, and as always, take care, guys. I am signing out. Rate and subscribe, leave your comments and ideas in the comment section below, and don't hesitate to give us respectful suggestions on content you want to see. Eric on behalf of the team saying take care, and Team Eccentric out.